Hello, this is James Reynolds, live from London. Welcome to OS from the BBC World Service. The war in Ukraine continues and it even intensifies in the east of the country. But in other areas of Ukraine, the slow work of reconstruction has already begun. On this programme, we will head to the capital, Kiev, where my colleague John Inwood gets together with a number of volunteers who are already making a start at rebuilding some of the city's damaged buildings. James Reynolds with you on OS from the BBC World Service. Thank you so much for your company. In a few minutes' time, we'll bring you up to date with all the latest sports news. But if you're a regular listener, and you'll know that at this time on every edition of OS, we bring people together in conversation to hear their shared experiences. And this week, we are listening in to slices of life in Ukraine's capital, Kiev, nearly 4 months on from the start of the Russian invasion. As the war began, you might remember that Russian invading forces got extremely close to Kiev. They occupied towns and villages on the outskirts, places like Irpin and Bucha, where civilians were killed. Russian forces eventually retreated, but the places they'd fought over were scarred by battle. The people you're about to hear from are trying to do something practical to fix the destruction. They're part of a volunteer organisation called the District 1 Foundation. In the past couple of months, they've been seeking out damaged buildings that they can renovate and restore. The BBC's Joe Inwood sat down with 4 of the volunteers at a cafe in the centre of Kiev.
Hi, my name is Marie. I'm a volunteer of District 1 Foundation, and before the war I was a makeup artist, but now I decided that I should help my country somehow and join the guys.
I'm Andrii and I'm a founder of District 1 Foundation, and before the war I was Chief Marketing Officer.
Hi, I'm Dana. I've been living in France for the past 5 years, but I was born and raised in Kiev. After the war started and I was really trying to find a way to get home, so I decided to come and to join the District 1 as a volunteer.
I'm Andrii too, yes. Andrii is the second. I'm a co-founder of District 1 Foundation, and before the war I was event planner and festival organizer.
Tell us about the project, tell us about District 1.
District 1 is a project for people who wants to rebuild and renovate Ukraine in the occupation areas. Now we have approximately 1,000 volunteers, and for 50 days we collected all of these people, and now we are working in 7 regions close to Kiev. We are working in 12 big infrastructural objects like hospital, kindergarten, schools, high schools, and also we're trying to help people with their private houses, with big houses, also with smaller, like 2-floor houses in villages.
Andrii 1, you were the other co-founder. Tell me how this all started. How did this come about?
The project actually has started 4 years ago. At first it was like a gentrification project for one street in the center of the Kiev, Raitarska Street. So we decided to renovate the street, to plant the trees, to wash the walls, to make some benches and some parks there. When the war started, we're doing like a volunteer job for helping our army, gathering some medicines for people, and my partner Andrii, he saw the villages which were occupied by Russian army, and he saw these buildings destroyed and people needed help, and he called me. We went there on the 12th of April, the first time with 25 volunteers. First day we were just like cleaning streets, and then we saw the destroyed buildings. When we found a teacher in the kindergarten who was trying to clean it by herself, a lonely person in the kindergarten, we decided that we need to help her. So it was our first project we took. We are not like builders, we're just like marketing guys, art guys, creative class people. So we started to learn how to do it, how to conserve buildings, to protect them from the weather. We started crowdfunding the money for the reconstruction. And as Andrii too said, now we have 12 buildings in our portfolio, how to say.
And you say you've got 1,000 volunteers.
Yes.
And Dana Marie, you are both volunteers?
Yeah.
Tell me, how did you get involved?
I've been following these guys for the past 3 years, actually. We never met, but somehow we were friends on Facebook. So I knew about District Number 1, and I was witnessing like the really amazing work that they did with the transformation of center of Kiev into this hipster haven, you know, this cute streets. After I saw a post on Facebook 2 months ago that they started to help people from Kiev suburbs to, unfortunately, there is no way now to make it cute and nice, at least, you know, to make those places livable again, you know, to help people to come back home to something. What I saw when I came here, apart from the incredible work that they do, is that the community of people that they gathered is so incredible. There's a lot of foreigners, by the way. Yesterday there was a guy from Belgium who joined us. There is another guy from Sweden. The guy's on vacation. He decided to spend his vacation with District 1 and to come here and to go to European, you know, to move like hundreds of kilograms of bricks and other stuff. It's very nice because also me, because I live abroad and regularly I get messages, how can we help, how can we come? Maybe next time I'm gonna come with one of my friends.
And Marie, how did you get involved?
You know, like many people, the first months we were like scrolling news, worrying about our friends, families. My family is from Berdansk and it's occupied. Like the first months was really torture for me about worrying about them. And when the idea of renovation of all these deoccupied cities appeared, I thought, wow, that's the thing that I want to join, because I was worried that what can I do now? I can be a soldier. I have no enough money to donate, so I want to help somehow because I want this war to end. The first days we were like writing to Russians, please stop the war, like trying to show them what is really happening, but it's all in vain because they just don't want to change their minds. And when I joined, like it was on the third day, I joined the team. I felt myself like finally I found how can I help, what can I do for people who were really suffering in Kiev region. I worked as a gardener there, like, I don't know, sealing windows, cleaning debris, and you feel yourself part of something big. Now, I think that this project can make something big for our country. We can like show our government how exactly we should help people. That's how I joined, and I think it's the best thing I ever done in my life.
You talk about showing the government what could be done. Is this not something that you feel the government should be doing?
Honestly, there is no government in the world that can be prepared to deal with the real consequences of war now in 2022. If you go to Kiev suburbs, you're gonna see like the scale of destruction is like insane. It's insane. In towns like Borodyanka, I think there is no building that was left undamaged, and those that were lucky ones have just missing windows and glass, but the rest, they're like just half of the residential buildings missing. For all of us, the main goal now is for this war to over. So we trust in our president, in our government, we support our army, and our mission is to help them to fight, but not on the front line, but maybe in other ways.
And I wanted to add that what I like the most about this project is like there are so many in the world foundations that help with food, medical supplies and everything else, but I think we are like among the first who started doing something like that, just to make people come back again to their life, because really the war is still going on and people are trying to come back to their homes, and we just want to help them to feel like home again. We really need to rebuild country because there are too many destructions after Russians.
You talk, Marie, of those destructions. I guess you all must have seen really difficult scenes, really harrowing things. What are the hardest things you've had to deal with in carrying out this project?
It's very hard to choose the hardest one.
In the first 2 weeks, when we're going to people's houses and hearing about all of the crazy scenes which Russian army made in these villages, after 2 weeks I was in really bad mind scenes about all of this. All stories is really crazy.
So you found that listening to people's stories at the start of this affected your mental health?
Yeah. Now I just can say that for me it's like a job, it's like a work, and we are working. We need to help people but we like an army, like soldiers. We don't need to feel everything what we see and what we hear.
You should keep balance, because if you start to react on every emotional thing you see, you will not be able to help.
In my case, my brain like built a defense line because I feel the pain of the people, I feel the pain of the whole Ukraine, but I'm really thankful to my brain that I'm not in panic, I'm not frustrated, I'm just like became stronger during this war. And with these strengths, you can help only with these strengths and with this energy that you have in it. Otherwise, you won't help anyone.
I agree. It's very important to draw the line between your volunteer life and the normal life. For example, yesterday I spent all day in Irpin carrying the bricks and stuff, and I came back home, took shower, went to the restaurant, put makeup, I met with my friend, had a glass of wine, so I had like this glimpse of our past life, which was normal. And I think this balance helps me keep going and have energy and this desire actually to come back, because I had my first volunteer experience in 2014 when the war just started. I was a volunteer at the train station in Kiev. I was helping people, refugees from the east of Ukraine that were coming with these evacuation trains from Donetsk and Luhansk regions. And I was meeting them and helping them to find a place to stay, to live, and to relocate them. And after a few months, I think 3 or 4 months, I was so emotionally drained and I was so sad about everything that I see that at some point I couldn't go to a cafe and have a tea, because I was thinking, okay, how can I have a tea for 50 grivy, for like $2, if a woman just came to me today a few hours earlier and she said that I have no money, I have 20 hryvnias, which is like less than $1 left, please feed my child. And I had real burnout after that and I had to leave. I was emotionally empty. Yeah, and when I started to do this volunteer job again after the beginning of the war, I felt that feeling again, of like the need to draw the line between the normal life and the volunteer life, because otherwise it's like it's gonna suck all your energy and you won't be able to do anything eventually.
It's really interesting. If I can bring in a personal perspective, it sounds exactly how journalists cope with things.
Yeah.
We have to go and see really, really awful things. And you have to have empathy, you have to have a sense of what the person is going through. But if you react to each person you meet as you would react to your friend going through that, you'd crumble. You wouldn't last a week. And so you have to have that level of empathy, but a level of separation. It sounds very, very similar.
All days when we're coming in occupied territories, we are trying to balance with our feelings and what we're seeing, and trying to be strong. Don't cry, don't be angry a lot, because when people who are living in these houses will see your emotion, it will be really difficult for them. When they see in us happy, strong, and when we show them that we can do everything, they see that and they can feel and understand that they're not alone, they're with us, and we will rebuild, we will make everything, and everything will be great again.
We don't only doing reconstruction, we're trying to address humanitarian help to people we find. So we always ask what they need, and not only like, do you need a roof? No. What do they really need? Some people need like to hug, some hugs, and or just like some food or medicines. We don't really know if it will really help, because Russians can come back again to Kiev region. We don't know. But the main thing what we're doing now is giving hope. We're giving hope to people.
For example, we helped a woman in Irpin. Her house was totally destroyed. They have no light, no gas, no water. It was the first time when I wanted to cry when I heard the story of this woman who she lost her son in that house.
He was in the army and defending Irpin.
And when she told me that, I told her but it's good, but that you're alive, you can just live your life. And she answered me it's better for me to die, not my son. And at that moment I understood that I can't understand that pain. I won't be able to understand that. And the only thing that I can do just to hug, or maybe, I don't know, some financial support, but it's impossible to help in her situation. Really, she's frustrated, she's devastated, she's broken, and she needs like emotional support, really, just to hug, and that's all.
Obviously this war is a terrible thing and has brought huge amounts of suffering, but it seems to me that you guys have managed to find something positive out of it.
Yeah, it's a strange thing, but last weeks I'm thinking that I've never had such a bright, interesting life. This time I don't really understand why, but it's the best time of my life because.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, that's what Mary said in the beginning, that it's what the most meaningful thing that you did in your life or something like this. That's actually the way I feel. I don't know. It's very hard to explain. Obviously, you see the same thing from the outside, like as foreigners, you see the same news and stuff, but what it made us feel as a nation and how it made us unified, and even in small things like going to Irpin or to Borodyanka and helping a woman, to clean her apartment, or just gathering together, and doing and changing someone's life. This is actually what made me feel incredible and made me feel very proud to be a part of this community. Before that, many people, especially young people, they had doubts because in Europe life is better. I had a lot of friends who used to, even in the past 8 years, they used to go to Moscow because the restaurants are great and the art scene is good, and okay, we're Ukrainian, but this is politics. Now I don't have any person around me who doesn't say like, I'm Ukrainian, I speak Ukrainian, this is my country, I'm gonna stand for our rights, for our freedom, and there is no doubt in it, So I think this is the most amazing thing that this war has done to us. I mean, we got independence in 30 years ago in 1991, but I think the real birth of a nation happened in 2022.
The volunteers from District 1 Foundation in conversation with the BBC's Joe Inwood in Kiev.